Hey guys, this is the German Prodigy, and this is part 3 of my Let's Play Splinter Cell series. The second part of the police station. I decided to divide this up into 2 videos. It would have been around 25 minutes if I put them both together, so I figured it was better to split them apart. So this particular section up here I actually had a lot of trouble on. It was one of those situations where I was talking about in my previous video. To where there are civilians there that you just they seem to constantly be looking for you more than the guards are, and it's really aggravating. It's kind of stupid. There's a civilian up here in the building to the right. I'm sure I'll look over there here soon, but he basically moves between 2 windows, and it's really aggravating because he's just sitting there looking out there waiting for you to go. There are lights that cast enough to where you're going to be seen if you go out there and anyone's looking there. And some of those lights you can't destroy. I've actually tried to get the lights inside the buildings before on this level, and I can't do it. So that was one of the parts where it was kind of like, what the hell, you know, I can be right next to a guard and he doesn't see me when it looks like I'm clear as day, but there are lights inside houses that I just can't see out.
Who is that?
So eventually I learned that if I shot a light behind me, that the guard would at least go behind me. And there's a few second window right there to where that civilian decides not to be there. So basically running out in the open, and it's really in Splinter Cell you learn to become so comfortable with being in the shadows. Any situations where you're out there in the light and you know people are around, it's really uncomfortable. But yeah, this particular part here coming up, the morgue, I played this a lot, and the reason why is because of the demo. The demo took place in just the morgue. I believe it was on a CD of a magazine I got or something, but I played the demo a whole bunch, and it was so awesome for me because you could be stealthy, and this was the first game that really took it to a whole new level. So I'd like to talk about a little bit of I've been back and forth about what to do next, especially since I'm going to be getting my new PC here in a week or so, and I'll be able to basically record any game I want. And I don't want to spend too much money getting all these games, because now that I'm going to switch to computer, and I don't really have too many games for computer. The biggest problem I'm seeing is I don't have any games that are relatively current, and that's kind of a big problem, especially when you're trying to start a YouTube channel and you have no current games for people to watch. No one wants to watch the first Splinter Cell. So I've been back and forth about what games to get. I've thought about Skyrim, but Skyrim has been out for a little while, and I know it's a lot like Battlefield 3, which, you know, it's been out for a while. So I really wanted to get a current game, and I think I'm going with Crysis 3. I don't know anything about the Crysis story. I have never played a Crysis game, but it seems like it could be a good game to where I can just get some videos out there. And it never hurts to try a new game, especially one that's expected to do as well as Crysis 3. And it does look interesting. I have seen some videos on it, and it doesn't quite look like exactly the game I want to be playing, but if it helps my YouTube channel out, then I'm more than willing to do it.
One false move and you're dead.
I really wanted to get Battlefield 3, and Battlefield 3 may not be as popular as when it came out, but it's still relatively popular, and I love to play the game for hours on end. The only problem is as a person who pre-ordered the game, and I'm sure a lot of people have complained about this, is the fact that, you know, people who pre-ordered the game, we had to pay $50 for premium if we wanted it right then. And now you can get a brand new copy of Battlefield 3 with everything for $60. So we were paying $110. The hardcore Battlefield players, we were paying $110 for the game when a brand new person could go out and spend 60. Now, I wouldn't have a problem with buying another copy of Battlefield for my PC. The biggest problem with this is premium does not carry over between systems. So the premium that I have already paid for on Xbox, I will not be able to have on PC. And that's rather unfortunate. I think I am just going to occasionally go back to playing Battlefield on my Xbox. Or perhaps not, because now I'm getting a new computer and I'm going to want to be playing on my new computer that I'm spending quite a bit of money on. So, I think I'm just going to wait for Battlefield 4. If I really do want to play Battlefield, I still have it for Xbox, so I can still go back to it. But it is rather unfortunate that I'm stuck in a situation like that.
I've got Agents Blaustein and Madison.
I'm not sure if I would be able to record Battlefield games from my PC without a capture card, because I was debating on getting one and I have decided not to. Especially, I thought you had to have a capture card to create videos, and you do not at all, at least not on PC, but I believe you do have to for console. I'm going to play around with it, Google it. Maybe I will end up posting up some Battlefield videos, but it's going to be on console, which the console Battlefield kind of sucks. Well, it doesn't suck, it's just PC version of Battlefield. Battlefield is a game meant for PC, and that's the biggest thing about going to PC is if you get a game that's meant for PC, it's going to be 10 times better. It doesn't matter if it's modded or not. If you take a game like Battlefield that was designed for PC and then narrowed down, dumbed down graphically and players-wise for console, you really get the benefit of having a PC, even without things like modding and using mouse and keyboard, which I did talk about before, but I'd like to talk about that a little bit more again. Mouse and keyboard is actually awesome, and any of you who don't want to go to PC gaming for the purpose of mouse and keyboard, well, first of all, you can plug a controller into a computer, but I'm sure most of you know that. And after a while of using mouse and keyboard, it seems so much more natural. And I didn't understand it at first with joysticks, but joysticks are limited with movement speed. It's just that simple. It doesn't matter how high you turn your sensitivity up, which in the end is just going to make you more inaccurate. Mouse and keyboard at 60 frames per second, it runs so much smoother, and it feels like if you want to go from target A to target B, it is so much quicker. And I really, really like that. I didn't at first. I thought mouse and keyboard would be terrible to use, and if I did get a PC, I would be using my controller. Plus the Xbox 360 controller you can use with pretty much any game now, especially if you're running Windows, which most people who are gaming on PC do run Windows, because it's the obvious operating system if you're wanting to be a heavy gamer. So, but after using the mouse and keyboard for quite a while, I learned that it is so much better. I liked it a lot. Another topic I'd like to talk about, more particular to the first Splinter Cell, is the accuracy. And I'm sure, like many others have experienced, it's not like other games to where it's just point and shoot. You really have to take your time with it, and you really have to be dead accurate. And I actually like that. I'm particularly reminded of things like The Walking Dead, to where it just seems like anybody can pull off a headshot on a zombie at any time, no matter what the pressure is. And particular with sidearms with pistols, it's not as easy as people would think to be accurate. And I actually really liked what they did. And it can be a bit frustrating to seem like you're aiming at a light. You've been sitting there for days looking at it, trying to make sure you get that shot off. That way you're not shooting the wall and distracting everyone to where you are. So, but I really like it. I think it's a lot more realistic, just because firing a rifle in a sidearm or a pistol is a lot different. the biggest way that I can think to explain this is what they call muscling the weapon. That's where you are pulling the weapon to where you want it to shoot. With a rifle, you do not have to do that in most situations unless you're standing up. But if you're sitting down and stuff like that, you're really not going to have to muscle the weapon near as much unless you're standing. Now, with pistols, it is 100% muscling the weapon. And I don't want to sit here and say that nobody can pull off amazing headshots at, you know, the snap of that quick. But there are people that can do it, but those are professional level shooters. And if you're in a particular situation like you are with Sam Fisher here, and you're kind of just hunched down, and it can be very difficult, especially under pressure, to be able to shoot and be very accurate. Another thing I wanted to talk about was headshots, and I'm going to have to finish this up really quick here. I don't think most people realize how ineffective headshots actually are. There's a certain thing on the head called the T-box, which is around the eyes and mouth area. If you imagine a box in the shape of a T going across the eyes and the nose, you'd have a pretty good idea. This is where you have to hit a person to kill them. And especially if you have something like a 9mm, shooting someone in the head is not necessarily a kill. Even with higher caliber rounds, I have heard of a situation to where a person who was shot in the head with a 7.62 round, that's the round that comes out of an AK-47. It was actually out of an SVD. It was a sniper in Afghanistan. It was a gunner up in a turret. But the bullet actually hit his skull and went through his skin all the way around his head and basically created a little ring around his head. So, headshots in gaming, I don't believe should be as effective. Obviously, there are things like body armor to where you can consider in the factors, but shooting someone in the head is a lot harder than most people think, and there is a soft spot that you must hit, the soft tissue. Hitting the skull, you would be amazed what the human skull can prevent from entering in. It is meant to protect the brain, and it does a very good job at it. I'm going to have to finish this up, though. I hope you enjoyed the video. This is the German Prodigy, and we will see you guys next time.